Tides of Chaos, Shipwrecked. By Whispers of Whimsy. My heart beat in time with the current far below the Mediterranean Sea, where the forgotten depths were shrouded in twilight and the world was silent. I cradled the blessed harp in my arms as seagrass danced around me, matching the rhythm of my thoughts, chaotic, fragile, and full of longing. The harp was a gift from Cassandra, one of the 5 siren sisters, in exchange for betraying someone who had stood by me through everything. While he may have found his love in the end, his happiness failed to lessen the sting of my betrayal. But I had to believe it would be worth it in the end. This harp, barely larger than a frightened pufferfish, was rumored to be blessed to break any curse. Though like any blessed object, it would come with a cost. My fingers trembled as I adjusted the harp strings. It had been days since Lysander disappeared into the depths, trapped by a curse that had bound him to a sunken ship. I don't know how he convinced Poseidon to do it, but I know my father is responsible. He is determined to keep me away from my true love. According to him, to all of our society, a noblewoman, one of the favorites of the Greek gods, shouldn't be with a lowly merman. It has never been done. I have a duty to marry a nobleman and complete the sacred ritual to appease the gods. If I don't, no one knows what their displeasure may be. So now he's trapped in a state between life and death, in an endless slumber, and the only way to break it is through the music of this harp. But the price would be steep. And I wouldn't find out the toll until I played it. My heart fluttered at the thought of losing everything. Losing my life so that Lysander could live. Was I willing to go so far? He's the kind of man who remembers every small detail about me, a book mentioned in passing that he surprised me with, a bouquet of my favorite sea lilies. I remember him standing by me, offering his quiet strength when my grandmother passed. The times he spent reading, talking and laughing with me on quiet evenings in the gardens. He's a man who cherished my hopes and dreams as though they were his own. And I love him. Lysander. I thought, my heart aching. The moment we met, I became lost in his emerald eyes and knew I would be his. And he was mine. Mine to protect. Our love had brought us to this moment, me standing on the edge of the abyss, the harp held in my hands, poised to play the song that would either free him or shatter us both. I closed my eyes, remembering our last moments together. How he held my hand, whispering promises of forever, even when he knew he couldn't keep that vow. Not when his lifespan was centuries shorter than my own. In that moment, he hadn't cared. And I hadn't, either. All I wanted was to be held in his strong, sturdy arms with his long black tail wrapped tenderly around my legs. But now, with the weight of the sea pressing in on me, my chest tight with fear, I wondered if I had been foolish. What would I be sacrificing to save him? Was it worth losing myself in the process? What if the price for using the harp ended up hurting him further? With a final, shaky breath, I swam to the wreck, where shadows swirled and a faint glow flickered. There, suspended within the shattered remains of the captain's quarters, lay Lysander, floating weightlessly just above the floor. His face was ashen, his eyes closed, but his lips were slightly parted and his chest rose and fell in a steady rhythm, as if he were dreaming. I called to him, as I had done on my previous visits, but he didn't stir. He was somewhere beyond where my voice could reach him. But not beyond where the blessed harp could. I knelt beside him, the harp strings taut beneath my fingers. I whispered his name once more, and my voice came out thin and fragile. I closed my eyes, feeling the love between us, and began to play. The melody was soft at first. Hesitant. A song I knew well from childhood, and I sang softly along. A lullaby of love and loss. As I played, my fingers grew more determined until the sea responded, its current shifting, pushing and pulling in perfect synchronization with the melody. My eyes flew open as the water around me began to glow. The ship creaked as though it were waking up. Lysander stirred. It was working. But with every note, I felt myself slipping away. My arms grew weak, my body felt heavy, as if the very water was dragging me down. The glow around Lysander reached out and absorbed me as well. My voice faltered and was silenced, and something shifted inside me. I felt a sudden sense of loss, and there was now a hollow space where once my magic had thrummed inside me. Yet I did not stop playing. The music surged from the harp, growing more urgent, more desperate as my resolve sharpened. I poured all of my love, my pain and my hope into the little harp. My heart was with Lysander, my every thought consumed by the longing to pull him back from the edge of darkness. And then, just as the last note was plucked and hung in the water, the light around us broke. The water shivered and a blast of current raced around us. The curse shattered. Lysander's eyes fluttered open, his gaze locking onto mine, and for a brief moment, time stood still. Asphodel, he whispered, his voice hoarse. But I could barely hear him. My vision was dimming, the world spinning in a slow whirlpool. I tried to speak, to tell him that everything was all right, but no sound left my lips. The final note had taken all my strength with it. I smiled softly at Lysander, my heart full, and I slowly reached out to hold his hand. His warmth was real. He was back, alive, and I had saved him. And as I looked into his tender gaze, I knew I had lost something too. The blessed harp had taken its payment. My magic, and with it, my extended life. I would live only the lifespan of a normal human. I love you, I whispered. Lysander reached out for me, pulling me close into his chest. The sea shifted around us, then stilled, as if holding its breath. And, for a moment, I allowed myself to believe that this love, this sacrifice was worth it. The harp had taken my magic, but my heart and my lifetime with Lysander were safe. We were together again, and that was all that mattered. In that moment, I understood, I didn't need forever, just him. Just this.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I truly appreciate you listening until the end. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future stories. I'm going to try to add a new story weekly,